We'll just start the show from the top. Good evening. Welcome to Connecticut Basketball Spaces, Part 3, the Final Frontier. UConn 110, UMass Lowell 47.
A lot to not as much would be the scoreboard tonight. A lot to not as much. A 64-17 halftime score.
That was crazy. I mean, the highlight of halftime was, well, two things. One, my wife and my 14-month-old baby deciding to go home and just get some sleep, and I couldn't blame them. And the other half was you and I going to the People's Bank Arena Sportsbook and being just furious that they didn't have the Purdue Oakland game on.
But they did have the Purdue Fort Wayne game on. That's the crazy thing.
Go Mastodons. Yeah, so we spent halftime just in search of anything competitive, any sort of basketball that's competitive. Shouts to Georgetown, great win for them tonight, genuinely. But yeah, tonight it really comes down to the difference of this team with Terrace Reed in the lineup is very stark. Terrace was exceptional tonight, 20 points, 12 rebounds, 4 blocks, 2 assists in 17 minutes, and against a very undermanned Lowell team, obviously, but still, if as they build this schedule up to a week from tomorrow, soon to be today, with the BYU game, when this thing really turns up, any nerves you may have had about how Terrace looked, I mean, if that's the Terrace they're going to get all year, it's going to be a fun winner because he looked unstoppable.
Terrifying Reed is what that looked like tonight. I mean, obviously, just was doing anything that he wanted to. He was 9 for 12 from the field. He had 3 offensive boards. Probably should have had 3 or 4 more. 9 defensive rebounds, 12 total tonight. 4 blocks. Even managed to mix in 2 assists and a steal tonight. We've talked about it a lot. He's like the question mark guy here. We wanted to kind of see what the offense looked like. I am so glad they limited his minutes tonight. Oh, my goodness. Got a little nervous in the second half. I'm like, oh, guys, come on. Does not need to be on the – but I'm glad that we got to see what it looked like because, oh, boy, that was a difference. A drastic difference from what they've looked like offensively. And very impressed. We'll get into defensive stuff here in a little bit. But, like, from an offensive standpoint, we talked about them this year wanting to kind of switch a little bit more seamlessly between freelancing a little bit and being a little bit more liberal about letting guys sort of take the game as it came to them and sort of seamlessly transitioning into the offense. And I thought they did a pretty good job of that tonight. Now, granted, obviously a lot of mismatches in a lot of places. But overall, from an offensive standpoint, I mean, it would have been nice if they hit a few more threes. But 9 for 23 from three-point land. They shot 42 from 69 from the field. Like, what are we doing? That's bonkers. Also, 17 for 22 from the free throw line tonight. It's a team that I'd like to see get to the free throw line a little bit more. I've already talked about this a little bit already. But they got 22 free throw attempts tonight. They made 17. It's a team that can shoot from the charity stripe. So, I don't even know. I don't know what to talk about. Like, I don't even know how to address things from an offensive standpoint tonight. And
they shoot basically 40% from 3 anyway, even though they, they only make 9 of them. The biggest thing that jumps out at me stat wise after Monday night when we were, the funny thing Monday was New Haven had like 3 assists, but also UConn's assist number was low. And Dan talked post game Monday about how they did miss a million bunnies. I think they were like 10 for 19 on layups, so the assist number should have been higher. Well, tonight, 27 assists on 42 field goals. So that will do. And the other key performance I thought was much better night for Silas DeMurray Jr. He finished with 7 assists, 3 turnovers, 4 steals though. Was 6 for 6 from inside the arc. The only shot he missed was the only 3 he took. So I thought it was a pretty good night for Silas as well as, the 2 guys that kind of focused on to get integrated here more, getting Terrace back, but also getting Silas into the flow of things. So good, a good night all around. I mean, obviously, when you're up 66 in the second half against a very overwhelmed and undermatched opponent.
That was just a sentence that just came out of your mouth. Up 66 at the half.
Yeah, the largest halftime lead in the history of UConn basketball by 7 points.
Oh my
They were
God.
47 at the half. They did. I'll drop it here since I said it in a space that we'll delete from the internet forever. It was like the DePaul 2023 game at the XL Center, except it just kept going. It just kept going. It was completely insane. Lowell doesn't make a field goal for the first 13 minutes of the game.
It's crazy.
They went 1 for 2 on a couple of free throw trips, and that was it. I adore that. First of all, Lowell calling the first time out down 44-3. That was good. Yeah. Well, what would you have told him at
I
29-2?
respect it.
Yeah.
When you're getting beat 44, first of all, there's just no shot that anything was going to go well for them tonight. But like when you get beat 44-3, like what do people expect him to like tell these guys?
Yeah. I mean, if you haven't called one at 22-2, you're kind of pot committed at that point.
I mean, like, what are you gonna do? Well, guys, it'd be really nice if we tightened up on the perimeter.
Can we get the intensity up, guys?
To that point, you just attach yourself to the front of the snowball and you just like hope for the best. That's what you do if you're a coach. And, let them kind of do their thing. Just sort of free ball it. Cause that was about as Leroy Jenkins as it gets in a college basketball game, let me tell you.
Yeah, and Pat Duquette's done a really good job there as the coach. They've been in the America East title game twice. They transitioned up. Last year, they lost a bunch of games by like 4 points or less, and their best player transferred to Florida State. And so their roster, I mean, that's a perfect example tonight of a school a low major, what the transfer portal does to just decimate you.
Yeah.
Because that's been a program that's been really, really solid for a few years, and it's been on the precipice of making the NCAA tournament, but hasn't gotten there. And they lose their best player from last year, and they just have to tear the whole thing down to the studs and start over. And it's so hard. And tonight you saw them just get absolutely sandblasted. I mean, that game belonged behind a paywall, but like one that like was 18 and over. I mean, that was just savage stuff. What they did tonight.
That was a war crime tonight.
Yeah, but I think they played better than Monday. That was my main takeaway, and it was really interesting also. Dan Hurley in the postgame sounded pissed, for lack of a better term. He's getting mad at somebody whose microphone was taking a phone call at the start of the press conference, which fair enough. But then he really kind of got into it where, what they did tonight, that effort level, that intensity, his point is like, that's what it's supposed to be every night. That's supposed to be the standard. Talking about how after Monday night, they put pictures up all over the facility of like examples of guys, for lack of a better, to paraphrase, like not hustling in the game Monday, not doing the required effort. And it was just Dan Hurley psychological warfare at its best. And he went into how he just laid it out as plain as it could be. Like these guys are getting paid money with NIL now. The effort has to be there. You owe it to the people paying for it. And it was kind of stark to hear in game 2 after you win 110-47. Dan Hurley just put it all out there like that, but it's a position he's said all offseason. And in the last 2 years, as NIL is ramped up and the transfer portal is that with the money comes the ability, like the obligation to ride these guys this hard. And the players have bought into it too. So it was fascinating to hear him kind of fire and brimstone post game after a win like that.
I thought that was maybe his most pointed press conference that he's had since he's been here. Like that really took me aback. I don't get taken aback by Dan Hurley anything anymore. I was pretty surprised to hear some of the things that he said tonight. That's not a guy that's fucking around.
No.
This year. Like there's just not going to be any of this, like, and I'm not going to lie. Like I thought some of this stuff was like directed, it felt like it was directed at some specific players, where like, hey man, if you're going to come in here and we're going to pay you a lot of money and you come out here and you come out in La La Land, like, fuck you. Like, we're going to bench you. Like, there was just like, there's a standard of the standard of the standard. I loved his line at the end just because I feel it so much in my bones. Where he was talking about, like, guys, gassing each other up as teammates. You know what I mean? And, like, how that's a great thing. And, like, 80% of the time, you should be dapping your teammates up, and it should be positive, and you should be keeping the vibes high. You have to support each other when things are going tough, like it's really easy to be a miserable son of a bitch when things are going bad. Um, and things go south sometimes when you're on a team, and you just kind of have to keep perspective and keep on keeping on. But there's 20% of the time when your teammates aren't doing the things that they're supposed to, where and Dan, I think he used the line something like, the best thing you can ever do to a friend is tell them the truth. And,
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of that kind of rings true. And, that's a thing that you can kind of see with this group of players, right? I mean, everybody talks, like, when you talk to the parents, you talk to people around the program, this junior class in particular, very close group. They're very supportive of each other. At the core, it's like every kind of thing that makes the program what it is, and it's a positive thing. But like, at a point, like when a guy's dragging ass, man, like it's year 3, it's year 4. Like, this isn't the time for you to keep on figuring your shit out. It's not okay for you to take a night off defensively. It's not okay for you to not be setting screens. It's not okay for you not to come out and play crisp. It's not okay, for you to be dragging ass up and down the court. And, I thought that was a really kind of fascinating point that Dan made. And look, I mean, when we said this ad nauseam, the last space, and again, it's nothing to get carried away with, but like, you kind of could see that deja vu from that team from last year, where it's just kind of come out of fog, kind of go through the motions. And like, that's a team that they should have done what they did to UMass Lowell tonight. They should have done that to New Haven. Credit to New Haven, but like, should have done that. And, that's what the standards got to be. So like, we've kind of seen it when it's on blast. We've kind of seen it when it's not as much on blast. But tonight was like the response that I was looking for, the aggressiveness on ball, and they were so much more disciplined. Granted, it's a big mismatch. I mean, we had 3-4 inches on every player on the floor at every position. So like, just like New Haven, you don't want to like get carried away with it, but man, their aggression on ball is something. And tonight, they were just a lot more disciplined than they were in the Michigan State game. So, like, I don't know. This is a heinously cheesy analogy, and it's kind of embarrassing to use it, but it's Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Michigan State's porridge was probably a little too hot. New Haven's was a little too cold. And UMass Lowell's was just right tonight on the defensive end of the floor.
Yeah, I'm not, look, they dominant win. Lowell did shoot 32 free throws again, but UConn shot 22. So I think, Dan, this whole thing in the post game, this is all pointed to next Saturday, because he knows what's coming and what the level they're going to need to be at for those games. And tonight was obviously the level they're going to need to be at to place BYU, Arizona, Florida, all that. That's what I think all this is. So just an absolute fabulous, dominant performance tonight. Everybody chipped in. We got our Raison minutes late. We got our Urosh minutes late. Sadly, they both missed their field goal attempts, but otherwise, just a pretty consummate performance. I want to also shout out another solid game, I thought, from Jaden Ross, especially on the defensive side. 23 minutes, 8 points. He hit everything he took except a three. The threes were 0 for 2. But he was 3 for 3 on twos, made both his free throws. 23 minutes, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, a nice breakaway dunk as well. So good to see Jaden hopefully just making that the consistent baseline. I thought Stewie was also solid. They got just a solid night from the two of them, and when they're both contributing, you expect it to be a blowout. But this was like, I mean, this ceased being a contest at the under 12 at most.
John Rothstein, his Dan
Yeah,
Hurley.
that was great.
I think 12 minutes into the game. Might have been caused a little John Fanta PTSD as well. That might have been hard on him.
Yeah, he just did the Dan Hurley, the Carpenter postgame tweet at the under 12, which was John had to move on to all his 58,000 other bits, so I can respect that. But great performance, great to have Terrace back, and then they gets turned around Monday against the best of the first three teams they'll play, Columbia, and then shit gets for real. So it's kind of like your Goldilocks analogy. So we've seen them with like a C minus performance, and now we've seen like the A plus, and so I'm fascinated to see what we get Monday, because then that's the three we have to go in to Boston, and we'll see what it looks like for both teams in a huge matchup early on. So, yeah, a great night. I'm not really sure what to break down from it. I do love seeing UConn obviously holding a team to under 0.7 points per possession. That is a far departure from what we saw last year. I mean, they held the team to 3 field goals in the first half. So they've at least in these two games, the defense, I think the numbers are better than the effort's been, but the defense has been very, very good. They have been a top 10 defensive unit. They passed that eye test so far.
You think?
And that was the biggest concern. And you pointed out they scored 110 points tonight without Furphy or Mullins. So
yeah, no Mullins tonight. Like, that's the other thing. Like, that's the funniest thing about all this is we're watching this. Like, we're, in the Jeep in a deep African safari, and there's I wouldn't call him the lion of the jungle, but certainly the tiger or the cheetah. One of the headlining acts. He's just, playing with his ankle at the end of the bench right now. Did you hear Dan?
Yeah, and it's
I don't even speak to people when they're hurt.
There was, Dan saying that post game was wild, and we couldn't find it. Somebody tweeted the photo of it's during the run in the first half, and it was friggin' poor Furphy just sitting on the bench looking so ticked off because this was like the perfect.
I'm so
night
happy
to get
that he's so
minutes.
miserable. I just feel like this is going to be a player that like he's going to do whatever this year. Like there's going to be like a little contribution here and there, and he may just have I would totally expect him to like have like a Furphy game against like a Butler, right? Like he's going to get rolled out there and he's going to do some crazy shit in one game. But like in 3 years, this guy's going to be everybody's favorite basketball player. He's so upset to be on the bench tonight. He looks so fucking miserable. Like Brandon Mullins is bouncing around, bringing energy, happy to be there. Like Furphy is just sitting there. I call him Furley. Furphy is just sitting there, looking like somebody shit in his Cheerios. He's so upset he's not playing.
It feels like the entire idea with Furphy is to see if, and this is a high bar, see if we can get Cam Spencer, but like the full career.
Yeah, can you like grow? It's like the Sea Monkeys version of Cam Spencer. It's like, can we grow, sustain, and make a Cam Spencer in a lab, except from a different country, and maybe a history of chasing wild animals through the forest and killing them with their teeth.
Yeah, I feel for those two guys who couldn't play tonight because these are the sort of games where you can really get your sea legs, and now they're gonna have to find them in some deep water. But
East Texas A&M is on the schedule, guys. Lighten up.
That's right. Circle it. East Texas A&M is absolutely the target, I think, for these guys. But UConn 110, UMass Lowell 47. UConn up to 4th on Ken Palm at the start. They were 3. Illinois, who's looked great in their 2 games against bye games as well. UConn 4th in offense, 9th in defense. It is very early, but I'd rather be us than Purdue right now. So, or most of the Big East, but we'll get into that later.
We are having a run this week of I Told You So's, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Including
Deion Sanders. Look, we know everything on this show. Like, there's just nothing that you're not going to learn from 2 people that know absolutely everything there is to know about life.
Yep, and your favorite I Told You So is your Arizona Wildcats, of course, who look great tonight as well, apparently. Yeah. Pasting Utah Tech.
I'm not going to let them do it to me. I'm not going to let them
do it to me. You can't wait. You spent the whole second half talking them up.
I did talk. Oh, yes. I'm going to try.
Koa Pete, 18 points in 28 minutes tonight, by the way.
They bring his average down to like 28 points per game. Good God, dude.
Yeah, 2 weeks. That's going to be a terrifying human being in Storrs, Connecticut. Can't wait for it. But We should focus on the task at hand, and I think the Wieners want to whine.
Do the Wieners want to whine? I think we should let the Wieners whine. Hot dog, the UConn Husky season is here. The good folks at Martin Russells are here to keep you fueled so you can keep foot on gas throughout the year. Hot dogs, kielbasa, sausages, deli meats, you name it. Not only can you grab what you need for the big game at their retail store at 45 Grove Street in New Britain, they'll even bring the meats to you and ship them across the country. That's Martin Russells, the official sponsor of the Connecticut Basketball Spaces Wiener Weinerline. And folks, it's time to get to the meat of tonight's show. By that, we mean the Martin Russells Wiener Weinerline. We are going to be taking calls and check-ins here for the next hour. I don't know if you expect us to talk about for the next half hour, however long it's going to be. But whatever it is, we're going to need your help. So everybody, go ahead, request on up. We'll get you in here. We are trying some new technology and stuff.
And failing,
tonight.
as you can tell.
Yeah, it failed a little bit, but look, I just plugged this shit into my computer 25 minutes ago, so you guys are going to have to...
It actually sounds great. I'm using my phone because I left my microphone in your car, even though I took your car.
We got these brand new mics, courtesy of Store Central, by the way, tonight.
Wonderful people.
Who are here to kind of help bring us to the next level. And Hurley Mania couldn't even remember his dingus microphone when he got out of the car tonight. His wife had just had enough of listening to the two of us. She's like, I'm taking the kid. I'm going home. At the end of the first half, which she did. So I drove Hurley Mania home. He forgot his dingus microphone.
The whole reason I went home with you was the microphone was in your car.
The whole reason I rearranged my day to go to dinner tonight at Black Eyed Sally's Pig's Eye Pub was to get the microphone.
So did I remember the microphone? No.
So I could
No, I did not.
I'm sorry.
If he requested, if you want to bring Jaden in first, simply because he's got to get on a train in 12 minutes or so.
I really want to do Jaden first.
Well, because I don't know if we're going to be able to get him later.
I want to do Jaden.
And I'm hoping
we'll do Jaden first. We got to do Jaden first.
Yeah, because it's the only option. So I don't want to take that from him.
All right, so let's do Jaden first. And then we'll get to everybody else. You guys, sit tight. Sit and swivel in the queue. We'll get to you in here in a second. But Jaden, is Jaden in here? Jaden, are you here? I don't think Jaden's connected yet. See, that's the thing. We are technologically superior now.
See, I can't tell if it's us or this.
We are an advanced civilization. And it's just people that can't keep up with us. They can't keep up with us. We're technologically superior. You know what? Tag with it. Well, we're waiting for Jaden to connect. He's probably in some subway tunnel doing something. We got a noob here. We're gonna go with Cole first, man. Cole, go ahead. What do you got for us tonight, man?
Well, the reason why I am a noob is because I'm not a UConn guy. I'm actually a Lowell guy. I graduated from UMass Lowell.
You poor bastard.
Yeah, Cole, that was rough.
Sorry.
Unfortunately, Cole. I did watch this entire game.
A great respect for your baseball program. Great respect.
Anyway. Much like I watched last year, we played Gonzaga, and that's the kind of game that I was expecting here, because that game last year against Gonzaga, same deal, right? Lowell's traveling, it's a bye game. I think they were ranked fourth at the time too. And that was at least like a somewhat, not competitive, but it was like 10-7 at one point, like early in the game before Gonzaga pulled away. I like just not making a field goal until after the under 8 was just, I couldn't believe it. And I mean, I think you guys mentioned it earlier, but like, this is just the life of the low major. We had 0 D1 points returned. Like, nobody on this roster I think nobody who even saw played last year. Our only guy who returned is this guy, Keenan Bay, who I think was on the bench the entire time. Like, it's just mind-boggling how they could just, I get that UConn's a good team, and I know that Danny Hurley lit that fire under them, but like, it was just insane for me to watch.
Yeah, well, more to the fuel to the fire of me being the dumbest person on earth. I, honest to God, spent about an hour today like reading up on Lowell and the team this year. I invested that much time to try and preview it. And 6 minutes into the game, I just could have been doing anything else instead with that time because it was totally worthless. Cause yeah, it's just Pat Duquette's in a tough spot. Everybody in that league's in a tough spot really, but they're, it's funny. They won their first game by 50 against a non-D1 team and they lost their second game by 63. So somewhere in
I mean,
between
they looked
truth
awful
lies.
against that non-D1 team, though. They like that the first half against Riviere, they didn't look that good. They look like a team who hasn't played. I mean, again, this is their second game ever playing together. One's against a non-D1, the other's against UConn. Like,
And then
I
Monday
feel like
night,
they don't know anything about this team.
no, you have no idea. And Monday night you get New Haven and part of this MTE that we're all in, by the way, because it is technically an MTE that features Columbia, UConn, New Haven, and Lowell. So Monday night, New Haven goes up to Lowell, and I don't know what that's going to look like. But yeah, it's a really tough spot for Pat Duquette and the Riverhawks, who are just trying to put something together again. I mean, they're going just before New Year's. They're going to Iowa to face Bennett Sturts and Ben McCollum, and I wish them all the fucking best.
I mean, again, it's more to the life of the low major. I think we have 3 home games in the non-con. It was 2 of them
Mhm.
are non-D1s, the other one's New Haven.
Yeah, I mean, their non-con home schedule is hilarious because it's Emerson, Fisher, Rivier, New Haven, and Sacred Heart. So yeah, it's really tough. And I was in discussion with the Hoops HD guys earlier this week. We actually did an hour about just scheduling, and it's going to get worse next year because the NCAA is increasing the limit to 32 games you can do. And like Conference USA as a league voted to increase the number of non D1 opponents you can play to 3.
Ugh.
So it's just more like I love college basketball. I want more games, but then a night like tonight makes me reconsider, because we have too much. It's either UConn, Kansas, or like tonight, and there's just no middle ground.
Like,
Yeah,
it's unfortunate for us because it's like, and to UConn's credit, you guys always make sure to schedule great games in the non-con. It's just always tough because then right before those big games, it's like, oh, and now UMass Lowell's coming in as their, like, not like get right, but they're like, let's figure out who we are and let's stomp UMass Lowell by 70.
Yeah, the worst thing to happen to Lowell was UConn playing like crap Monday night, because that was not going to happen again. And the coaching staff spent all week hammering home to these guys the intensity required. So, like, if you ever wondered what it would be like for Lowell to face UConn when UConn's fully invested, like it's a Big East game, that was probably what it would have looked like tonight. And that's rare to get in a non-conference bye game.
yeah.
But
If you want to see what
they
the
needed
bottom
it.
of, and if you want to see what the bottom of the transfer portal looks like, this is what it looks like. So
Pulling guys out of D2.
yeah. I mean, look, hey, the transfer portal, we've talked about it a million times. It's a great thing to have. It's awesome. But when you're at the bottom of Division I, it's not awesome. It's not fun.
Yeah, it's great for UConn. It is
It's great for
terrible for
UConn
a
or
place like
any
Lowell.
functioning Division I team farther up. And it's too bad too, because that UMass Lowell team was a blast last year. I mean, last year and the year
Oh my
before.
God, they were so much fun.
Yeah,
I
mean,
mean, I was a student broadcaster for the team the last couple of years. Like, that was so much fun to watch those guys and to watch them interact. And then you lose everyone because they either graduate or Somerville, who was our incredible freshman,
Yeah,
transfers away to a high major. At
yeah,
least, I mean, at least to our credit, we're trying to play the transfer portal game as like a, hey, uh, come to UMass Lowell, take like a quote unquote gap year, come dominate a low major conference and then transfer out. At least they're trying to spin it as that to try and get talent in. But I mean, it's we're kind of in that weird in between stage where we haven't really gotten there
well,
yet.
if you're like a top 300 to 600 player in the country, right, and maybe you're a little bit more raw, or heck, I mean, like maybe a little bit more polished, right? Like you'd be, if you're getting recruited out of college, and I don't know, you'd be I don't know, a fringe starter, 7, 8, 9 guy on, I don't know, like give me a mid-major, like a middle of the road, St. Bonnie's,
Evansville.
Evansville, that kind of a program, right? Like, go to UMass Lowell, dude. Play for a year. Slap the crap out of CCSU or God knows where else, right? Get that playing time, and there's some great coaches at that level, right? So, go out there, do that. And look, I mean, I've seen a lot of baseball where there's actually top end Division II teams that are like, we don't care if you transfer after 2 years. Like, come here, throw 91, go play in a College World Series at the Division II, Division III level, and get out. Goodbye. And because they can sell it, right? Like, you got a lot of guys that are kind of tweeners, and they go out and sell it. And like, obviously, baseball's a little different sport than basketball, but structurally and otherwise. But like, I think there's some value for them. But like, transfer portal is great for everybody at the top. We are never going to hurt in the transfer portal. Nobody that it comes here is going to be hurting. But man, you look at a situation like a UMass Lowell, Merrimack. I mean, so many of those like super fun NEC low major teams just got gutted. And that makes me sad. I'm going to be a big baby about it. I'll fill up my diaper about it. I miss those teams. But like, I also think at the same time, while those teams are really going to get kind of pecked apart, it's going to make the Woffords of the world a little bit more dangerous with guys that like are kind of like at mid majors and high majors, and they're not getting what they want. And they're going to go down. And like, I think you're going to get a lot more gulky kind of situations in the NCAA tournament. Like, I do think the best teams in some of those mid-major conferences are going to be a little bit more dangerous in the tournament. So maybe that makes for a more exciting tournament. I don't know. But that's where I kind of see it right now.
Yeah, with all 78 teams.
Oh, gosh, kill me. Shoot me in the head now.
Forgot about that, didn't you? That's going to suck.
There's no need.
Anyway, thank you, Cole, for joining us on a rough night for your guys. But
No, thank you guys. Thank you guys for giving me a spot to talk to about this game.
Yeah, nowhere to go but up.
Even if it was a downer.
Yep, only up from here.
Thank you, Cole. Appreciate it. All right, we're gonna get to Jaden before he gets on the train. Maybe he's on the train. I mean, he's probably on the train right now.
Greetings from the LIRR in Grand Central.
Oh, boy.
Oh, God help you.
Got about 5 minutes before I pull out. I was at Iona watching Dan Giroux win his debut over Hofstra.
Yeah.
Jerry Beach was agonizing over the 23-4 hole his team gave up.
I
had Connor at the Hartford Civic Center. His recap is shared in this space for those who would like to read and enjoy. Really not much else to talk about other than they beat the shit out of Lowell, which sucks for them, but hopefully Pat can learn and teach his guys because they've been really good in the America East. I'm at Villanova Queens tomorrow night after calling D3 football at Merchant Marine at 12. So I'm pulling off a 2-game, 2-state sicko marathon.
That's incredible. Meanwhile, I'm the complete disgrace. I did not manage to get a ticket to the sold-out Penn State New Haven game, so I will not be there.
I will have Connor there. He's doing a piece tomorrow on New Haven's first week as a D1, so I'm gonna plug him. I'm gonna plug my guys here, and other than that, 7 guys in double figures. I'll hang up and listen while you guys give me your thoughts while I wait for this train to pull out and take me back into Queens. Love you guys. We'll see each other real soon.
Jane, you're the best daily dose of hoops, by the way, for authentic, real, OG college basketball journalism.
And he does a great job with so many, kids just getting their shot. I mean, the next, titans of writing of this sport that we love, this could be where they start. You can get in on the ground floor.
Real journalism, not slide into your DMs because you upset my friend. You said mean things to my friend, so I'm going to direct message you and switch over to the wrong Twitter account and do it.
Oopsie. That's an oopsie.
SpaghettiOs. Hurley Mania, can you see the people that we have on deck?
I cannot. I'm
You
just a speaker.
can't.
I'm not a
All right. I was going to
co-host.
give you,
If
we're
you
going to
make,
do a
do
little Spaces
you
roulette
want,
here and see who we wanted to go to next. Let's go to,
do you want to make me a co-host? Because then I can see who the
I don't want
people
to
are.
make you anything that is,
Okay.
you are beneath
Okay.
me. I am the Lord.
All right.
I have the ASMR mic, so I can talk
Okay.
like it's the Lord. Overlording Spaces. John Skis, what the heck do you want, man? Did you like that? I was shucking while everybody was jiving.
Just nobody ready at any point. You blasted somebody.
Yeah, I just went right at John Skis. John Skis, what do you got for us? Come on. Sad thing. I can't hear him. Can everybody else hear him? I can't hear him.
I cannot.
I can't hear John.
I apologize.
No,
I blame
back.
you.
He's back to being a
blame
listener. I'll get him back here in a second. Oh no. Kyle, the Butler fan. What did you talk to about with Jared Thomas today?
Well, Cashfront is probably going to talk about the actual UConn game, so let him go first.
No,
No,
you
I
can.
called
You
on
can
you
go.
first. So, what nonsense do you have?
Okay.
Shut up.
I just
Kyle's
wanted
going.
you guys want to talk about fill any space. So I was just going to give a little Big East update. No,
The league had a very interesting night.
very, very. I was really encouraged by a few people's opening nights.
Oh no. Who's that?
Seton Hall and DePaul.
Oh.
Oh no!
Um,
Just
and then tonight, and listen, look, I'm not, you guys know who I'm a fan of. We play the system tomorrow. We play the system tomorrow. IU Indy.
you better lock down and play defense because that IU Indy team can fill it the fuck up.
Yeah, but we're not going to play. Like, the thing is a bunch of old heads on our team are going to be so mad when we win 120-90 tomorrow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Modern
And
basketball.
it's going to be like they're so mad we gave up 90 points. Watch any IU Indy game. They're going to average about 105 to 100 loss this year. That's just who they are.
Yeah, and
It's insane, by the way. Insane. Any IU Indy game. Insane.
speaking of IUPUI, which is their correct name, I want to shout out
That's correct.
I want to shout out Alec Millender tonight, who was a sicko diving on the floor with a 47-point lead to chase after loose balls. It was
By the
everything
way,
Dan wants out of the program.
By the way, is Millender Dan's favorite player?
I mean, he might be, because just seeing him sliding around on the court.
Dan brings him up every press conference.
Unprompted.
Like, yeah.
I wouldn't be, yes.
It's like when I talk about my Futures League team or Hurley Mania talks about UConn hockey, you just meet these weirdos that like shoehorn the thing that they like and care about into the conversation that nobody asks about.
It's like your fantasy team, sort of.
Yeah. Well, you don't mean to do it. It's just you're kind of weird and stupid and like, you just kind of, you do it. And I feel like that is what Dan does with Millender. I think Dan Hurley goes home, and I think he's got he might have a picture of him in the weirdo room. He may have had Luke do like a drawing, or maybe he's done a watercolor of Millender. It's weird. Yeah, I've never heard him bring up a guy as much in the first 3 games of the season, or 2 games, or really all of the games, as much as Dan talks about Millender.
I gotta say, it's pretty cool to see a guy that I watched in person, by the way, play against, anybody in the horizon. I watched 4 or 5 a year of IU Indy or IUPY. I'm enrolled now, so it's fucking hard not to say IU Indy because that's what the university insists it is, but it's ooey pooey. It always will be. But
Ooey
I watched
pooey,
them.
That makes my spidey senses tingle.
It will always be ooey pooey.
Ooey pooey.
Anyway, I watched them in person, 3, 4, 5 times, I think 4 last year. I'll watch them again this year in person, obviously starting tomorrow at Hinkle, but at their place multiple times this year because it's great and because I'm right there. It's a 5-minute drive. Why not? They play the system. It's awesome. And that guy was a great player last year, man. UConn got him in the portal, and I was like, is he gonna be a high major starter? Like, no, but he's like, as soon as they got him, I was like, UConn fans are gonna have fun with him, if that makes sense. Like, he's a guy. I don't mean he's a guy as in like he's gonna be a guy who plays 12, 15 minutes on championship team. Like, no, but and I hate to disparage my own program here, but if he was like a backup point guard, like who was going to play 12, 15 minutes at Butler, I'd be like, heck yeah. Like when Hurley got him, I was like, that makes sense. I'm surprised he went somewhere where I thought he was going to play as little minutes as he was, and he's playing more than I thought he would.
Yeah, I mean, my first impressions of him were like, this is the first guard off the bench for any, I don't know. I don't want to disparage the Big East, but like anybody from like 5 on down in the conference.
Yeah.
He's first guy off the bench. He'd probably start in the bottom third team. I'm not going to lie. I mean, his release is slow. I think that's the big knock on him, but our offense gets him open so much that he gets some pretty clear looks, and he facilitates well for like a guy that is like, Millinger's not just like short, but he's kind of skinny. He's pretty strong for a little guy, especially on the ball. He handles ball pressure really well. But off the ball, like he's just a guy that kind of mouses around and is like finds a way to worm himself open because everybody's so occupied with the other pieces on the floor. Like I like him. You know, I don't want to get over his skis really. Alec Millinder is not going to be the starting guy. He's probably not going to be the backup guy. And when Mullins gets back, you know, and Furf, like who knows, like where his ultimate role ends up being on the team. But like, he's a guy, man, that like when you're running some sets here and there, we talked about Joey Calcaterra a couple of years ago that like, you know, just this sort of under the radar guy that knocks down threes at a high percentage, can handle the rock a little bit, a little creative, might not be the strongest guy, but has some athleticism. It's kind of like that, you know, 8th, 9th, like give you a little spark. Yeah, he's, you know, I don't want to say he's Joey California yet, but man, like he's got that thing about him. And I love him. I totally get Dan's love affair with him as a basketball player.
Well, all I'll say is I expected him, because again, like I said, I watched him a bunch of times last year. I expected him to be at like a I don't know, like a high tier Missouri Valley, like a Drake, like an Indiana State, like somewhere like that, like because you know geographically,
Yeah.
you know, Loyola, I don't know, something like that. That's where I expected him to be,
Top
and
for
then.
Loyola tonight, by the way, dropping to Mercy here.
Well, you know, that's a yes, very tough.
DePaul wins again.
But you know, something like that. That's where I expected Millender to be after watching him last year, and then he went to UConn, and I was like, at first I didn't get it, and then I kind of thought about it, you know, before the season, and I was like, Hurley's gonna find something for him because that's the kind of player he is. Now, let me say, because this is the real reason I called in, because I'm a petty bitch. He'd be the best player at Xavier University right now.
Oh my God, he probably
Yeah.
They are.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
He finally gets to punch down on someone for the first time in 5 years.
They suck. They're so bad.
Horrific.
They're really bad. They're
Hey, you know what? We've been terrible the past 2 years. They're worse than we have been the past 2 years. Oh my God, they're so bad.
They are, and I think Richard will work out there eventually, but like this year might be like Jesus take the wheel. Like I'm not going to say they're DePaul 2 years ago bad, but
they might be. They might be.
They can see it from there.
I think they're like more you guys with your last year of what does not feel kind of bad.
Yeah, maybe.
But I don't. Yeah, I'll tell you. Like
it's weird because it's Xavier doing
that,
but I don't think they're DePaul 2 years ago bad though. But they're giving it a good run. I mean,
did DePaul win tonight or they do the thing?
DePaul did.
They almost did the thing.
DePaul tried really hard, but they did win again. They won by 10 against Stonehill, which is a very misleading final score.
They are making me believe, and then they just are. I mean, they're so DePaul. Yeah.
Well, it's Hall. It's Seton Hall too. Or like I actually, this is being like completely serious. I watched Seton Hall and DePaul on opening night, and I was like, okay, like they took care of business quite well against a team that they should. And then tonight, both of them, as you guys were completely destroying Lowell, like they were really struggling, both of them, against their buys, and it was not encouraging from either of them tonight.
No, but I mean, at least they managed not to actually shit their pants, as I eloquently.
That's true. I mean,
they tried really hard, but
they
managed
did
not to.
They did. I mean, again, the reason I freaking called tonight is Xavier's gonna lose by 15 on Monday. Oh man.
Yeah, I am more than a little concerned for them against Santa Clara on Monday. That is a lot, and Santa Clara's got an NBA player every year. That's a pad matchup.
This is what life in the American felt like, by the way.
It is. This is exactly what it was like. What's Tulsa up to?
Those rapscallions from Northeastern. I don't know.
But we should briefly touch on the other Big East team that played tonight. Is Georgetown back?
Yes.
Oh, dude.
Yes, they're good.
I don't want to get too out over my skis because Maryland kind of got gutted.
Yeah, Maryland's rebuilding it. And Buzz will get it there, but maybe not.
But if they fuck Clemson up, who is like, I'd put him at 20 to 50 range. I think Ken Palm has them at 23. I think that's
Clemson might be the third best team in the ACC. I mean, they have a case for it.
I'm pretty harshly planting my flag on Georgetown this year. I think they're really good.
But we're going to find out because they've got North Carolina, they got Dayton, they got Clemson, on the non-con. I will say this. I totally believe in the backcourt.
Yeah.
The backcourt is legit. Hurley Manny and I were talking about this tonight. There's a part of me that's like, oh my goodness, if Thomas Sorber had just stayed one more year.
Yeah.
I still don't think they would have gotten that preseason hype that they probably would have deserved. But like, you put this backcourt with Thomas Sorber, like that's a team that's like everybody forgets in like that 30 to 50 range that they would have been a top 25 team. That is a top 25 team. There's just no. Are they deep? No. Are they national championship good? Fuck no. Like the second weekend good? Maybe. No, I don't know. Frenchie. If everything works out, maybe, right? You got to win 2 games to get there. They could probably do that. But, I'm going to say this. Maybe this makes me a bad UConn fan. I hope Georgetown's back. Yeah. I really hope that Georgetown is back because Syracuse can fucking rest in piss forever. And I'm the old fart. We always talk about UConn rivalries throughout the years. I'll always be a Syracuse, Villanova, Georgetown guy. Even though Georgetown and Villanova are probably not that anymore. But like, I want Georgetown to be a thing very badly in the subcockle areas of my oldness. I have a very hard time comprehending college basketball being entertaining and Georgetown not being part of it in a thing. They were so much, and I'm not going to get on, but it was so much a formative part of my childhood years. Watching that program be great. And, here's to hoping. I hope that they can figure it out. I'm not a big Cooley guy. I'm very open about that. But like Georgetown is just one of those places that should be good at college basketball. And they look like an NCAA. I mean, they fucking fucked Kentucky up. Now, I know Kentucky didn't run the full gamut of guys out, but like, regardless of that, the guys that Georgetown rolled, they fucked their shit up in the backcourt, which, by the way, was a backcourt that fucked Purdue's shit up a week before. I know
Purdue sucks. Purdue sucks.
Purdue stinks. I'm tired of the media trying to make him a thing. We'll get into that in a little bit. But I want Georgetown to be a thing. And I think if the Big East is going to have a chance to hang around longer in the Power Four structure of things, the three teams that have to be good in the Big East are UConn, Villanova, and Georgetown. It's non-negotiable. St. John's can be good. It's great when they're good. Marquette can be good. It's great when they're good. Creighton can be good. It's great when they're good. Butler can be great, and it's good when they're good. But like the three programs that we will stir the drink when they're the best of their best are going to be Villanova and Georgetown. And I hope to God that they can figure out a way to turn the corner. I would look very forward to that rivalry coming back. I am hoping they've got it figured. I am cautiously optimistic. They are 69th on KenPom. God bless America.
Yeah, and in a year specifically where Xavier is in the toilet and Villanova's just figuring it out, and Marquette looks good so far, but we don't know what it is. Like, UConn and St. John's and Creighton's solid, but doesn't have the air quotes star power they've had the last few years. Like, the league could really use Georgetown this year specifically to just set the floor higher, because we know that it's UConn and St. John's, and then a bit of a drop, it looks like, to Creighton. And then after that, Marquette, I guess. If Georgetown can pull themselves up into at least that tier, it just helps the whole league out. And that's a great win for them to go get in a long-time rivalry that's finally back as they go into the Xfinity Center and drub Maryland pretty convincingly, win there. So that was a huge result for the league tonight. And the thing that hurt the league the most last year in terms of the selections and all that is the league, led by UConn, was just very bad non-conference. And so it's good to see that so far so good across the league, even as hard as Xavier has tried to lose 2 games. I mean, they've tried really, really hard. And Seton Hall tried really hard tonight. And DePaul, which had a 20-point lead, tried extremely hard tonight. But they won. And the only loss so far, I believe, is Villanova, which played, I thought, really well against BYU. So great for the league to get that out of Georgetown so far, because this is when you kind of establish your metrics. It's the non-conference. Once you get into league play, everybody's playing each other. The metrics don't tend to go a lot in either direction. The cake's largely baked. They've got to bake it now. So good for Ed, and if only he had his big boy, because that would be a very scary team. But that backcourt can fill it the fuck up.
They're good, man. That backcourt's legit. I just don't know what the front court is going to look like. They could get better end of the year, but like they got the makings of like a fringe NCAA tournament team. I hope.
Yeah, and I've seen enough. They're gonna, and it might even be UConn. They're gonna pick. They're gonna pick UConn, St. John's, Creighton, Marquette. They're getting a couple of those.
They're gonna get 1 or 2 out of those 8 games. They're gonna get 1 or 2, and I think it may be enough if they can go. And I mean, they're non-con. It's gonna be hard to get. I mean, Carolina. I don't want to call Carolina good because
they had a great night.
They had a great night tonight, though. But like,
I didn't think they would.
If they can go zap, if they zap Clemson and they can get Dayton, and they can grab 2 to 3 wins at the top end of the Big East,
and just don't drop Binghamton, Wagner, UMBC, St. Peter's, Coppin State, which was an issue for a lot of the last 5 years. I think that part. You're going to hold this against me. I think they've got that part out of their system. Is tonight a sign that they can go and win in the other direction? If they get Clemson and Dayton, even maybe and don't drop the bye games, they're going to be in the NCAA tournament discussion. They just are. And that's a huge step forward for them. And that's when you get to the point where later in the year, stuff like, now UConn gets them they get UConn at home relatively early in the league schedule. They also get St. John's so right off the rip, like Georgetown's season's right on the line in front of them. They get UConn and St. John's, the home games, very early in the league schedule. But if they can build this thing up, they can their Waterloo can be February 4th. They get Creighton at home. If that's like the one they need, they've got that one in the back of the schedule. They might be building a tournament team there. And listen,
look, they've got enough at the back end of this. I mean, St. John's, Providence at the back of the schedule for them.
St.
They got
John's on the
Marquette at
road.
home. Yeah, St. John's on the road is brutal, but they got Providence at home. They've got Marquette at home, all in February. I don't think it's crazy, man. I would agree with you. The fourth is going to be that Creighton game is going to be massive, dude. And they're only not favored by one. I mean, Ken Palm's got a lot of shit to clean out right now.
Well, yeah, it's early.
They do.
Ken Palm's got them 8-12 in the league, but the stuff shakes out as the year goes on. They're going to go in the right direction. I think they are. But yeah, they've got Xavier at home as their second game. They've got Xavier on the road as their third to last game, and that might be the bottom of the league as it's looking so far. So they've got a wild hit or miss schedule at the front and the back. Their Butlers and DePauls are largely spaced in the middle.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Last thing, real quick before I go, and I'll go real quick, is that for the conference highlight, I want to. It's a scary thing to do, but just as far as like if this conference is going to get 3 or 4 in, or if they're going to get 5 or 6 in somehow, because that's, and I'm an optimistic idiot until I'm not. I know how the Butler staff has been talking about us. I know how we played in the first game. We'll see how we do against the system tomorrow. But, I think that the middle of the league, I think it's really important for, like, I was so happy about Georgetown winning today because I think those are the things that needs to happen if the teams in the middle of the league are going to have actual chance, a fighting chance of getting in. But, I mean, Providence, we're trusting Kim English here. They're somehow underdogs against Virginia Tech tomorrow. I don't think they should be, but like, it's also Kim English. I think that's a team I'm so worried about for the conference this year. Like they're way, actually, I think maybe the third most pure talented team after St. John's and UConn. Like they might actually be more talented than Creighton, but Kim English is their coach.
I agree with you.
Like Kim English is their coach though. So like it's a genuinely like scary thing for me because I actually would, in a vacuum, I would rather their roster than Creighton. That's a crazy thing to say because I think Creighton's going to be a much better team than they are this year. But Kim English is their coach, and like the conference needs them to be a tournament team. The conference needs Georgetown. I think Georgetown is going to be a tournament team. I do, but like. They're underdogs at Virginia Tech tomorrow. They're so much more talented than Virginia Tech. They need to win that game.
And the worst thing is it's basically a home game. They're playing at Mohegan Sun.
Yes, they are.
So that's a game that's a huge game for the league in terms of the league's 15-1 overall right now. I think 6 is pie in the sky, but if you want to have a chance, win games like that. That's a game Providence has got to get, and everybody around that program.
I want to see Providence against Wisconsin. I want to see them against Virginia Tech, and then we'll have a better understanding of where they're at.
I mean, can you go win
non-con? It's just not.
Their non-con's very weird. Can you go win at Colorado, who might be the worst team in the Big 12?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, I just don't. I think Providence is kind of padding some wins and losses here. Just not scheduling hard enough. I mean, like,
yeah. See, they're going to get in trouble because of that.
Yeah, because there's the best non-con is Wisconsin. That's great, right? Then they'll have St. John's. They got UConn. They're going to have probably Creighton and Marquette. One of the Creighton, Marquette, Georgetown. Somebody in that gaggle of teams is going to make themselves into a top 25 team. Man, if they drop one here, like, I could spiral. I'm concerned. So,
my concern with them is that there's not the window. I mean, your best case is you're going to anchor your resume with a neutral site win over Wisconsin. I mean, that's fucking. You're trying to thread ahead of a needle, man.
Go and schedule Memphis. You know what I mean? Like, go schedule Northwestern. Like, go schedule a Dayton St. Mary's.
Hey, schedule Northwestern, huh?
Yeah, one of those guys. I mean, just somebody that's like in one of those kind of things would help them out a lot more. But alas, we can't get everything.
Yeah, and I didn't see any of it Monday because I was at Gamble, but I don't love giving up 79 to a terrible Holy Cross team.
Vox was good. Their defense was bad. Last thing, and then I'll go. We're going to SMU in a week. SMU was terrible yesterday
They are.
against.
Wait till you get to see the TV camera angle.
I saw it against Texas A&M.
If you see that, that's a UConn
CC,
in the American
whatever.
Athletic
I
Conference
will.
trauma.
Well, you know what, Mr. Hot Biles? I will not have to see it because I will be in Dallas.
Oh, you're going?
I am going to Dallas.
I hope your flight exists, first
It
of all.
it exists.
For now.
That is very fair. It exists for now, but for now, I'm going to Dallas. I'm going to be there and, we're going to beat them and it's going to be, oh wait, is Butler something? Because that's what it was 2 years ago and then we didn't pull through and that's what it's going to be this year. And then I'm going to pull myself back and it's going to be I'm going to tell myself we're not going to be something until we actually start beating Big East teams. But you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah, and I'll give Thad credit and get mad at Kim at the same time. Butler's got a much better non-conference schedule than Providence does. Like, I wish you guys could like swap schedules because I like Providence's chances of being a tournament team more.
Me too.
And Providence could really use games like Virginia neutral site at SMU. That I don't even know where you're playing Northwestern. It's probably it's gonna be in downtown India.
Ken Palm is calling it a semi-home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is that at Gamebridge Fieldhouse? Jesus Christ!
Because it's. I'll tell you why. Because it's a Butler Purdue joint event. So
right, because Indiana bailed on it. Yeah.
Because Indiana bailed on it, so Butler and Purdue are partnering on it, and so Purdue is playing Auburn at noon, and we are playing Northwestern at 2:30.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this is the one where Hot Balls, you and I watched the the Purdue Arizona game that was on Peacock, the first year Peacock had games, while we were at the Mass Mutual Center for UMass versus West Virginia.
We saw Huggy Bear aimlessly.
We did. Oh, that was a wild experience.
Wandering around the concourse of the Mass Mutual Center in Springfield, yes.
It always comes back to Springfield. Thank you, Kyle. Best of luck with your Bulldogs tomorrow against the flamethrower zero defense IUPUI program, who actually are a lot of fun to watch. If you're really desperate and bored, folks, and want to see some sick shit, put that game on. Because IUND, Kyle kept saying the system. The system is what IUND calls their offense. It is a wild thing to watch. They can't defend to save their lives, but boy, can they fill it up. And they scared the living daylights out of Ohio State the other night, losing 118-102 on opening night.
That's all anybody wants. And a little fear in the big guys. All right. Before we get to the rest of the Wieners whinering, you want to talk about a Connecticut business? Nothing comes close to Martin Rosol's. Since 1928, Martin Rosol's been feeding cranky Huskies fans all over Connecticut and beyond hot dogs, sausages, kielbasa's, deli meats. They have everything we need to keep jerks like Hurley Mania fed, quiet. They didn't threaten to pull their sponsorship over it. Even a place to frankly just leave him. But I promised we wouldn't do that to them. Again, that's Martin Rosol's at 45 Grove Street in New Britain, the official sponsor of the Connecticut Basketball Species Wiener Weiner Line. We're going to go to Cash Fraud next. And then I believe we have Andrew after that. Oh, my goodness. And boy, oh boy, do we have a ringer coming in third behind him, making his 2025-26 season debut. Well, we're going to save that one for last, I guess. Cass Rod, what do you want?
I had fun tonight.
Did you have fun tonight? I had fun tonight. That's all that matters is we're all having fun.
I do have a topic though.
Okay, let's go.
Is Jacob Ross going to get redshirted?
I mean, is that a thing to think of? Are we going to talk about this really?
Yeah, I was wondering it a little bit when the 65 points late in the game and everybody else is in. I don't know. It's a good question. Maybe. I mean, I can't speak to it, right? I don't know what the deal is because, if he doesn't go into that game, I don't know when he's going to go in.
Yeah, I don't know what the Jacob Ross story looks like this year. I could see a Jacob Ross story, year 3 or 4, but like I don't know where I do not know the angle in which you put him into a game.
Yeah, because you got to remember, like with
No.
Iroj and Rayzon and
Reza.
Alec Millender and Dwayne Caroma, these are like old guys. That's the thing these guys
No
bring. They're
dudes.
not star players, but they're old. I was talking with you before the game. Like the value in those guys is, especially not that they're going to play in the game, but Erjan and Rayzon. You think those guys are going to be nervous about the Blue Crew in
No.
Omaha? Are you
Not
kidding
at
me?
all.
These guys hang out in the Eastern European
Have you ever
environment.
been to a basketball game in Serbia? Let me show you what a crowd looks like, and a bad one is crazier than a crazier college basketball crowd.
Yeah.
It's not even
Rick
close.
Pitino was scared of the Greek environment.
It's not.
Well,
It's fucking nuts. You know, I do encourage anybody that is curious about European basketball to find some crowd clips. Red Star, which won they won the Champions League in 1991 for people that don't know. I always like to remind Hurley Mania that every time I
I
talk.
believe it was 86.
No,
But
it was
anyway.
91. It was
Oh, okay,
91.
fair enough.
Yeah, it was that. It was not that long ago, believe it or not. But and then after that, they bastardized the tournament.
That's right. They won the last one, and they were like, "Oh, we're not letting that happen."
I think it was
again.
Marseille. It was Olympic Marseille that won in like 93,
Yes.
and then they said, "Oh, no, you mad."
No, but it was after Red Star that they announced they were going to break the whole thing
Yeah.
because they're like, "We can't have this anymore."
Yeah, it was actually the Champions League in the 80s and 90s, or like very early 90s, was basically the NCAA tournament.
Yeah,
All the champions, and they would just draw it out, and they'd be like, "Oh, home and homes," until we don't have anybody left. And so Red Star won. Anyways, Red Star, if you want to go watch some crazy European sports culture, Red Star has their football, the soccer team, has a big rivalry with Partizan, which is, back in the day, there's a lot of cultural ties with European soccer, but Partizan was the partisans of, obviously, Red Star were the communists. And Red Star has a thing they call the Ring of Fire. And if that sounds like it's nuts, it's because it is.
And if it sounds like a metaphor, it's not a metaphor.
Not a metaphor. This is not like a relative thing. When they say it's a ring of fire, they light the whole fucking stadium on fire at halftime. Especially at night, they all crack flares and the whole stadium looks like a gigantic fire hazard, which it is. And then there's like sections of the stadium that are just like on fire. There's just like flames on a thing, and people are just like walking past with their hot dogs. It's a crazy thing. So if anybody's worried about those guys making the cultural adjustment to crowd intensity and scrutiny in the United States, I have some news for you.
And to tie it back into your original question, those are all the guys who came in, and I mean, Jacob Ross is like a baby. So, and is a long-term development play. He was going to be at Minnesota, under the previous regime. So that's why I don't know if they're going to redshirt him or not. It's a fair question. I think it would make a lot of sense, especially because like, I don't know where the hell his minutes are anyway, but you know, that's also a delicate thing. It helps obviously that his brother's here because I mean, you ask a kid to redshirt in the modern portal era, it's bye-bye time. But I think this is a different situation with his brother here. So I'd be in favor of it if that's what they want to do, because I honestly, no disrespect to him, I just have no idea when he's going to play. Like, if he didn't play tonight, I don't know what to tell you. Probably not Creighton, so.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think it would make sense, and I just didn't know if it was like an underreported injury or something, or if that's they were sort of keeping that option open, because I think you like have to play under a certain amount of minutes in games, right? Like to still be eligible, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know what the exact number is off the top of my head. I know what the baseball numbers are, but I don't know what the basketball numbers are.
That game tonight kind of reminded me, I know you said the 23 DePaul, it kind of reminded me of the 24 Xavier game.
Yeah, that's actually a great callback, that even the 24 Marquette game, but especially the Xavier game, where it was just on that snowy Sunday, they just came out pissed off.
Yeah, in Hartford, pissed off, and they just steamrolled them.
I actually think that 24 game was the moment I realized that team had like basically no ceiling. Like that it was just, that's, if they show up there is no, it's over. There's no game. There's
What
nothing
game
to
are you talking
discuss.
about? Sorry.
The Xavier game in 2024, the Sunday at
Oh
the XL
my
Center.
God. Dude, man. There's a lot of memories that I have from 24, but the extermination of Xavier basketball in real time, the Steph Castle dunk, the alley-oop from half court, and the commentators going, "Oh no."
Yeah.
There was just like the floor just dropped out. You know what I mean? Like there's just a time where like you're just watching a thing and you're like, oh my God. Like, I think the time for me for 24, I was really confident coming out of the Kansas loss. I know that sounds crazy, but like, I was like, man, we're banged
same.
up and we should have won that game. But the moment I was like, this team is a fucking nuclear weapon was Marquette at home. When that was like a very fun, competitive game.
For 8 minutes. It was an awesome game.
It was as high level as it gets in college basketball. And then we just hit a gear. It was Donovan's dunk. It was the catch in the high post and the borderline travel. Gorilla dunk at the rim where I was like, good fucking God. Like the 23 team, I just love comparing the two of them. I love having two national championship teams that we can just be like, my national championship team is better than your national championship team. I thought like in motion, like in the sets and in the offense, the 23 team always looked better. Like there's just a beauty to their basketball. There was just like a level to what they could do that nobody else could do when they were like in that flow state, if you will, right? But then like the 24 team was just so violent. Like so violent. Like there was just so many ways that they could just take an axe to your face. We'll chop your arm off. Let's see what you look like without a foot. It was just like hypothetical. It was like this Dr. Frankenstein. Forget Frankenstein. It's like a Dr. Frankenstein kind of thing. Let's take a limb off over here and let's see what you look like bouncing. Like it was this playing with their food, like do whatever the fuck that I want to do. The only time they lost, obviously the Kansas game where they were down up with a bunch of guys hurt. And then the Seton Hall one's just funny. And everybody gets their funny loss of the year.
Just the classic.
It's a UConn class, an instant UConn classic. And then obviously what was the third? Oh, the Creighton game, which was like the 10th game in like 7 days. It felt like they just had their schedule just like after demolishing like 8,000 guys, they made us travel all the way out to fucking Moscow, Nebraska to play those clowns. Exhausted.
Okay. While we're reminiscing, I have to shout out my favorite part of maybe either of those two runs was the Adamas Sanogo interview when he says they thought that they could win the game and they could not.
They could not. I love exchange students. I'll never not love them.
They thought they would win. They did not. Yes, I've been reading through Dave Borges' book, which just came out, which is really, really good. I just actually got through the chapter where it addresses that game and the whole preseason when Kalkbrenner had appeared on a podcast and in 23 talked about, actually what he said is pretty innocuous, but in classic Dan Hurley fashion, he was able to manipulate it in such a way that was a personal affront. And they played the podcast for the team before the Creighton game. So that was fun.
Well, the reason that was on the tip of my brain was watching the Terrace post-game interview. Like, he gave me a lot of, like, Adamas Sanogo type confidence tonight.
Yeah, tonight he said Kodiak is back. So that's always been the thing with Terrace.
Yeah, I think Terrace needs to pick up a chewing tobacco habit, too. Like, we just need to make him as mean and tough and, like, impenetrable
Kodiak,
as possible.
perhaps?
Yeah, like, I think he needs to be doing some snuff, you know what I mean? Like, We got to get this guy a spitter. You know, we got to give a bit like, well, dude, look, I haven't chewed in years. I was a baseball guy. I chewed a lot of tobacco in my day. I can give some suggestions. I have not done it in years, but I'll come out of retirement. Me and Terrace are going to pack some horseshoe lips together. I am going to teach this guy, the glory of chewing tobacco. I mean, maybe it's disgusting, but it's, but like, I just feel like Terrace needs to get to that next level of like, you know, not a guy that you want to cross. Like, imagine if Terrace just emerged from the tunnel and he's just packing a lip and spitting all over the floor. Would you fuck with him? If he wasn't, I'd be like, I don't know, maybe I can hit a hook shot, you know? But if he came out just spitting shit all over the place, I'd be like, oh, no. I'm kind of intimidated.
And look, we had the Sunoco t-shirts and merchandise. I think we can get the American Tobacco Corporation on board.
Oh, what a great idea. Could you imagine if what a great NIL deal. Terrace Reed, Kodiak chewing tobacco.
I don't believe you can do an NIL deal with tobacco.
Oof.
You know, we'll just say that it's, Zins or something like
that's
that.
The move.
You know?
If it's Zins, it's
like
legal.
you can just do the pouches, you know, but like,
they can do a coffee one
on
or
the
something.
black market though, like the real dogs know what we're out here doing. You know what I mean?
Know.
Like, we all know, like what Terrace Reed chewing tobacco, like a big old, I mean, you could do shortcut, you could do long cut. You know, like the guy from, Last Chance U. Did you ever see that meme?
Yeah.
Where he's just hacking it in there. Did you just imagine, Terrace coming out looking like a goddamn chipmunk? Just hawking shit everywhere. That's not a man I would fuck with. I'd be like, you are a tough man now. I am very, it's not the size. It's not the athleticism. It's not the work that he put into basketball. I don't give a shit about any of that. That's loser shit. It's the putting the tobacco in how much can you fit in your skull? Maybe we should start a campaign. Maybe we just all go out there this season and like to get Terrace right, we all just pick up a chewing tobacco habit. Can you imagine the lady huskies out there? Like all the ladies just you gotta pack a horseshoe to you. You can't do a little bit, you know, I support Terrace Reed.
See, my counterpoint is it wouldn't chill him out.
It wouldn't what?
It wouldn't chill him out too much. He wouldn't be too relaxed.
No. You actually get, you get a little queasy. That's weird. But it'd be amazing. Everybody needs a little fiberglass in their face. You know, take it to that next level. Just increase your focus, you know, to get you to where you need to be. That's what
we could do a whole partnership. We can get like,
oh my God, can you imagine all of us?
With like Dan, we could get like Rise Mushroom, like to make like pouches. It's
Which
like a whole
player do we make do shrooms, by the way?
It's like a whole new market segment.
Could you imagine that? Could you imagine Alex Caravan on like shrooms? Shit that
I
would come out
know.
of a kid's mouth. Like there's so many guys, like we're getting into some dark territory, folks. I apologize. It's 12:34. They beat a team by 67 points. So this is what you get. All right. This is what you get. I think we won by 67 points. I tried to do that.
Like 63. 63.
Okay.
63.
So this
The math
is
becomes complex.
all right. Now this is where we get into the real talk. All right. Of this show. Gadzooks. We've got Alex Caravan on mushrooms. We've got Terrace Reed on chewing tobacco.
Alex, we haven't even talked about Alex, who he and Dan Hurley had a moment tonight. First of all, and Alex played great. I mean,
they did almost kiss.
The Alex breakaway dunk, you got to hold on to the rim because he let go and gravity remained undefeated in the history of humanity. And I thought he became the second UConn player that appeared to sustain a concussion in the first half. But he was fine. And then Dan ran over and Dan said what was running through his mind was he apparently asked Alex, are you in Maui? Because he was worried about the concussion again like last year. Because Dan's never going to get over that. He's never going to get over January of 2023. And he's never going to fucking let go of Maui.
Can I just have an aside in here? If you're Malachi Smith, how would you feel about that? Malachi Smith hit the ground and made a hand gesture, and I was like,
he did the fencing gesture, yeah, or I thought he did. He didn't.
Malachi
He's
Smith
fine,
did
but
the UFC fighter fucking cold freeze thing that you're like dead. Nobody came out to get Malachi.
and he was fine.
He's fine.
Alex goes down, and Dan goes 85 feet.
9,000 feet. If I was Malachi, I'm in practice tomorrow going like, look, you can go footage all you want. I gotta know. In my moment of need, coach.
Where were you?
Where were you? Where were you
Alex
to
kinda
pick
got
me
his-
up, grab me by the ears, breathe your glorious breath in my face? Nowhere to be found.
And to the question from an hour ago, Dan's favorite player on the team by a million miles is Alex Caravan. And if you didn't know that, you saw it in that beautiful moment when he almost kissed him, just to make sure he was okay. When he did the Fredo, it was the whole thing, the Michael Corleone Fredo thing. Thankfully, Alex is fine. Thank God. Because the last thing you
That
do
was a
is
scary dump too, man.
Oh, the way he came down was fucking
Not good.
He got his foot
Jesus.
flipped.
I thought he like landed on his nose. I was afraid he broke his nose more than a concussion, but given the history,
I was looking for teeth.
I should give him some. As his biggest fan, give him flowers. 13, 20. He only played 22 minutes. He only had to. 13 points, awesome. 2 rebounds, 1 turnover, a solid plus 49 in the box score. That'll play.
Yes.
So another great night for Alex, and part of what Dan alluded to post game the other night, but especially tonight with the thing about how like the best thing you can do for a friend is be honest with them. Like Dan's really harping on the other guys have got to be like vocal leaders, like Terrace especially. Like it shouldn't just be Alex. It shouldn't just be Alex to be the leader on this team. And hopefully we're starting to see other guys step up. They certainly are on the court. So I'm just glad Alex is okay because that looked so fucking scary for a second. At a point in the game where it was like 40 points, it was just...
The defender kind of ran into his foot, and I think it just kind of like...
It was a little bit like the Illinois dunk.
Yeah,
except the guy totally upended him accidentally. That was not intentional, but no.
Yeah, he just like swung back the other direction with more force than he was expecting, I think, and...
Happens.
Yeah, I think he landed on like his hip, like the side of his leg more than his face, but might be a little sore tomorrow, but I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, and he came back. He played 11 minutes in the second half.
Which was probably good to keep him loose, keep him moving.
Yeah, tomorrow will be the test, but I'm sure he'll be fine. And Monday night we'll see against Columbia. And I was surprised how much they played Terrace in the second half, I gotta say. Which was only 9 minutes, but when they're up 47 at the half, but I think they're just so focused on that game next Saturday, and it's such a ramp up from what they've been playing. And given that they were in a similar situation last year with these Texas A&M, and then you go to Maui, so I expect them to be like. That's why I'm not surprised Dan is this seemingly upset after a game like that. Why he's this intense, in addition to his usual intensity. I think the ship from last year is still in the back of his head, and he needs to see these guys prove that it's different. And I think he believes they will.
Back of all of our heads.
It is, and he believes it'll be different, and he hopes it'll be different. It's like until they won the Iona game in 2023, right? That whole season was fun, but in the back of all of our heads but are they going to lose in the first round again?
Yeah.
But the minute they didn't, that rocket ship was off, and I hope it's the same thing this year, next Saturday night when they go face BYU. Cause we got to see it. It's pretty simple.
Cash fraud. Thank you. Just kind of trying to keep the line moving.
Yeah.
It's 12:40.
Thanks, man.
Got a couple other people. Cash fraud. Thank you. We're going to go to Andrew next, and then a man that will not be named next after that. We're going to get into him. Andrew, what do you want?
I'm just picturing you bring Terrace to the fair and you just pull off the scene from The Sandlot and it just doesn't end well. And then speaking of Georgetown, I'll never forget that Freddie Brown pass.
Yeah.
And could you imagine if that was like in Europe and what kind of flare situation would have happened back in the day?
Yes.
If that happened. Finally, more importantly, So, and I probably should know this, but has he named the captains yet for the team?
Would you like to talk about this, Hurley Mania, tonight? The captain's situation. I don't know. I think I just lost Hurley Mania.
Sorry, I came back. I'm sorry. Andrew, you
okay.
asked if he named what?
Has he named captains for tonight?
No, I don't think so.
No, because we were in the car and he was like, "This is why I have not named team captains." He was not talked about Alex Caravan's continued development, which may have made Hurley Mania horny or not tonight. But was like, he has a lot of growth to do as a vocal leader. And he kind of launched into what we were talking about all this earlier about like, hey, it's great that you dap your teammates up. And he wasn't just talking about Alex here. I do think he was aiming at the juniors and the upperclassmen.
Yeah, I didn't think Alex was the guy.
Maybe the entirety of the team, to be honest with you, because that's just coaching young players in 2025 in any sport. But they are very good at dapping each other up and being supportive. And like, I don't know. We talked a little bit about this last year, and I felt like I went through the syndrome with my summer college team this year, where you get like these. I think part of the problem is with a lot of modern athletes is you get these kids that athletically, educationally, their time management skills, their discipline, how they handle taking care of their body, like all the grindy detail shit, they're really good with. Like, I'm not talking good, like really good. If anybody over 30, you are so out of date. And even if we like zapped you back 20 years ago and slapped these kids in your present time, like you would be so behind them when it comes to those things. But like part of that training that they get, whether it's at an IMG or it's at a Montford or like any of these prep schools, any of these like places that just sort of like, or travel ball programs, right? Like condition you. The whole idea is go there to play at as high of a level in college as you can. Like that's the whole purpose for some of these academies even existing to begin with, right? And so like the athleticism, the strength, like all the stuff that comes out of there, it's monumentally game-changing for the level of college basketball, developing prospects, physical skill, discipline, all of it. But I want to tell you, man, the attitude piece, the how to be like a leader in a particular situation shit sucks ass.
Yeah.
And they're like fake. I know this town. I'm not saying this about our guy, but like they're kind of like fake players. So like you'll sit them down, right? And you'll be like, all right, I need you to walk me through why you think I'm upset with you right now about this thing that you did in this set or this play or this game, right? And they'll map it out for you. I mean, they like, not only do they not know, but they'll go into like great detail. Like they fucking know why you're upset with them and like what didn't go right in a particular play. And so like you hear everything you want to hear, right? And then you go to practice or like a behind the curtain situation and you work on it with them. Like you work with them mano a mano, like you roll up the sleeves, you do the hard work. They show up every day and they do everything you want them to do. They tell you everything you want to hear. And then like even towards like as you're inching up towards the next game, start to show you that they're capable of fucking doing it. And then you know what they do in the game? None of it. They don't do any of it. And they're just like nothing fucking happened. And then you're like, what the was that? And they're like, I don't know. And it's because like there's this idea that like, well, I've kind of like figured a lot of this shit out. Right. And a lot of that isn't necessarily just in the coaching and the skill development shit, but it's like learning how to be a leader, like how to be a functioning adult where like you're being an ally and you're being supportive of people, which I think is really important, especially in today's age where so much stupid shit in criticism and there's so many avenues to like break you down in a negative way, right? Like I would go as far as to say like Bobby Knight ruined a generation of coaches. Like, especially my group growing up, where like everything's got to be negative. You got to be fucking hard on guys. You got to say fuck a lot. You got to throw shit. You got to yell. You got to be tough. You got to tell them about toughness, not being soft, and not being a bitch, and all this other stuff. Like, I think all that stuff is bad, and it's been amplified because you have a generation of people that think that that's what you're supposed to be doing as a good coach, and now we've given them like this avenue to communicate it to kids. Right, where you have social media and you have Twitter and you have Instagram and you have comments, So I think it's really important for teammates to pick each other up and for the most part, stay confident, right? And like be good teammates and help each other out. It's not about what you did when you're at your lowest. It's about what you do with somebody when it's not what you do when you're at your best, right? It's about what you do with somebody when they're at their lowest and you pick them up and you help them. But there's also just like a drop play and a fine like gray area in that where you have to have a conversation with somebody about like, okay, dude, you can't keep dumping the fucking play every game. Like this is not me not giving you a chance and not being positive enough and not being supportive enough and this is me like you fucking need to do this. And if you can't do this, you're not at our fucking level and you don't deserve to be here. And it doesn't make you a bad person, but you can't be it here. You can't do this. This isn't acceptable, right? To be at a certain level. And I think Dan was talking about a lot in the press conference tonight was like getting these guys to, especially the junior class and the younger and some of the older guys on the team, to get them out of that fucking mire, to get them out of that muck, right? To get them out of that, like, hey man, it's okay. Next shot. Like, okay, dude, it's been 30 fucking shots. Like, it's one thing when the coach tells you and yells at you, it's another thing when your peers are into it. You know what I mean? And like with an Andre Jackson, I think that's been another thing that has been very understated the last year and a half is the lack of not having a Cam Spencer and Andre Jackson in that locker room, of the adult in the room that understands the balance, the adult in the room that's actually your peer that says, hey man, like, great. I appreciate the effort, but like, dude, when you're wide open, you need to hit this shit. And I think like when Dan's talking about like where he wants to see Alex and Solo and Jalen and these guys get, like somebody needs to step up this year. And I am a little worried about this maybe being lacking on the team, but like somebody's got to show up and be the guy in the locker room that's like, guys, we're killing it in a lot of ways, but like if we don't do A, B, C, and D, like there's just a ceiling we're going to hit. It's just reality. And until you can get your shit to here, like this is all we're going to be. And maybe that's what you want, but like I don't want that. And like nobody else in here wants that. So like you need to get on your shit and catch up. There's nothing wrong with having that guy that's kind of the bottle rocket in the locker room. And I think, Alex is a great guy, but you can just tell talking to him. You can tell talking to Solo. You can tell Ross is the guy I think has that chance. Did you talk to Jaden? Jaden is like a 19-year-old going on 65.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually was lucky enough to talk to him last week when he was at the hockey game. You can tell the maturity level is freaking through the roof. It's crazy.
It's totally different. Like it's like talking to when I talk to like Jaden, I feel like I'm talking to another person my age, and it's really like And I don't mean this as a knock at any of the guys. Like I've been very blessed, fortunate to talk to a lot of the guys over the years. But like if you talk to a lot of these players. And you talk to Andre, we used to talk about Andre all the time. We used to talk about Cam. Jaden Ross, that guy kind of has that mojo. But like somebody in the junior class, Alex, whoever the older guy is, got to be the guy in the locker room that is like, nope, that's not good enough. And I'm going to step in and be the peer that's going to say, this is where we got to be. And I'm being interested to see how that kind of evolves. But like Dan was talking about that, like I haven't named a team captain. I'm not going to do that. They haven't shown me anything that could be that. And so I kind of get where he's coming from when he's talking about that stuff.
And I think, Dan as a coach, right? The best coaches, they know what they're doing, right? X's and O's, etc. They care about the kids and they know how to get the most out of them, right? And you would think a captain obviously knows how to play the game, needs to care about his teammates, and then knows how to get the most out of them too as a captain. It can't just be we all ride or die for Hurley, which they all do. Like they need to ride or die for each other too. And that's like the Cam Spencer guy, right? And I don't know if Alex is really that guy. He's like an engineering guy, and I'm an accountant. Like our personalities, engineers, accountants. Like I don't know that we're necessarily, it's stereotypical, but we captain material, you know what I mean? We're more cerebral and, quiet and analytical and that type of thing. And I think that's what Alex is deep down, and he's trying and he has his moments, but he just needs to go out there and ball, right? Like, and just hit threes and be smart and be a coach out there for sure. But I don't know that maybe they don't need a captain this year. I don't know.
Sorry, I was
I
done.
I don't know if like it's a necessary thing either, but like I just think that if there's going to be a thing that Dan's going to harp on, it's going to be somebody stepping up to be a real leader, and a real leader, like real leader, not like hey guys, let's go, let's get to practice. Like, somebody's got to be the extension of the coaching staff, and I think Alex certainly has tools to do that. And Jane certainly has the tools to do that. But somebody's got to show up and like really be it, like really be about it. And I think that's just a frustration, a lot of nonsense I was just talking about. It's just
sorry, I was supposed to be done, but
you guys have
inspired me. I think that's why Dan was like, when he sort of laid into the team a little bit in the second half, like I think that's kind of where his frustration stemmed from. It's just like that nobody was doing that and that he had to do that himself, and that, like, it's because it's not about the score, like, ever. Like, I mean, yeah, the score matters, but like the expectation is the expectation and we have to play to that all the time. And the fact that Dan had to do that, like, it's not like we're at a zoo, like that's him doing his job. I think the reason why he likes Millender so much, and this is going to sound heretical, but Millender has like sort of some Cam Spencer intangibles in there where like he's not like the flamethrower that Cam Spencer is. He's not the efficiency machine that Cam Spencer was, but like he does all of those little things that win you games, and he's showing all the other guys that like you don't have to be this crazy, you don't have to put up 20 points or 10 rebounds, and you can make positive contributions to the team.
100%. And like that's what I feel like, we talk a lot about like, on the court, the one thing I worry about Millender, but I think you're right, by the way. I think you're very right about Millender. But like the thing is that you just need that guy on the court when shit goes a little south. To like give you the good possession. To like when you're trying to get into your ball movement, everybody's jittery and they're losing their shit and they're just fucking haywire. Okay, I'm gonna hold the ball 2 more seconds. You know what I mean? And let something develop. There's just so many times, like, this was like the biggest extermination a UConn team has put on a basketball team since I think it was 2006. Speaking of 2006, there was like, if you were going to say, like, as a team that was like juggernaut, that should have had a better finish than they did, that didn't. That was a steamroller 90% of the time, but like when it went south, there wasn't that guy on the floor that could just pump the brakes 2 or 3 times and slow it down a little bit. And that's my worry on this team. Like, Millender, I think, is the guy, and I think that's why Dan's like really tried to typecast him so much. But like, somebody in this group needs to step up and prove that. I mean, we're going to see a lot of other things as the season rolls along, and I don't like it too judgy early on, but like, I get Dan's agitation with this group at this point, if that makes any sense.
Because I think it's because he sees the talent that's there. They have the talent to win a national championship. They have all the pieces. And it's just like they're a group, metaphorically just looking at each other. And it's like one of you, like, it's got to be one of you, right? Because like you've done all the hard part in terms of the skill, ability, and all that, and get the team together. And you're just waiting for the guy that wants to kind of grab the reins here.
Well, that's the point he's trying to, like, I think all these guys are like, they're still trying to prove themselves to themselves at some points. And it's like, you don't have to, like, your teammates already respect you. You have to just be that guy that's going to step up. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like,
no,
yeah,
like Jalen
and
Brown.
I think they'll figure it out.
I think
they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out. This stuff gets revealed in time.
Yeah.
It's only, it's November 7th, November 8th.
Yeah.
We're good.
My final comment would be, like, picking the wrong captain could be detrimental, though, right? So I think that's why he's taking his time, and, you know, again, he'll figure it out, but you don't want to jump too early and pick the wrong captain, because that could potentially impact your locker room negatively, right?
Yeah, I don't know if he's like really even into like, hey, who's the captain? But like, I think he's talking about it more metaphorically, right? Like, who's going to be the guy to step up and be the guy that says, I'm the guy. I'm the alpha male in this room, and get on my fucking back. And when I tell you to shut the fuck up, you shut the fuck up. And like, I think that's the guy that they've kind of got to have in that room. So we'll see what it comes around to. Andrew, I really appreciate you taking the time, man.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited
you have to do it.
Introduce the next. I do. I mean, I can't. I gotta be honest. I'm excited. I don't like admitting that I'm excited for his debut for the 25-26 season, but I feel like this is one of those like surprise middle of the Royal Rumble things, you know, where like they hit the buzzer and you don't hear the music for a little while, and then you do, and you're like, oh shit, I forgot he was around, and like the guy comes out, he cleans house and everything. But welcome back to Connecticut basketball space, Mr. Happy Rat. How are you? Struggling to find his mute button.
He's silent.
No, we got the mic off. Great, thank you. Hope you guys had a great summer. Gonna keep this quick. First thought I had was UMass Lowell's not very good on offense.
Correct.
Yeah, that was real tough finishing. Then we started talking about getting our center addicted to Kodiak, which not a good idea. Like someone who chewed Kodiak for a while. Let's put that in the back burner. Like way back in the where no one will ever think of it. We don't need our center dipping, like at all, guys. That's how did you get sponsors?
I'm taking notes. No chewing tobacco.
How is Happy Rat the voice of reason?
Like you got sponsors and you came out like, oh yeah, we should have the center dip, the worst dip you could possibly dip.
Do not chew the tobacco.
No, I don't care. You guys can chew it. We can all chew it. But Terrace Reed, don't chew. And that, I got nothing else. I just want to say hello. And, captains, I don't care. I just thought the good thing tonight was, the last game was terrible. Solo actually did a tack in the last game when Dan got into his face and pulled him out. It didn't work for more than 3 minutes. But that's the thing this team's going to need is the one guy who can actually go and make a play for himself. And it's got to be Solo. Like,
Yeah.
DeMary was actually very good tonight. He moved the rock well.
Yeah, the thing that I'm most impressed with them offensively so far, as part of this whole plan to let it be more a little free flowing offense rather than everything being 12 cuts and a perfect look, is the aggression that we're seeing out of Alex slashing the lane, but also Silas and Solo. These guys are actually attacking the rack. I mean, Silas and Solo combined took 3 threes tonight. So, and those are guys who can shoot the rock from out there. I mean, obviously, Solo takes 2 threes. you know, so Solo has really refined his game too. He's attacking the rack a lot more. I'd like to see him maybe go back to the threes a little more, but especially in these bye games. But it's good to see him trying it out and attacking and having some success.
Silas DeMary, not related to Silas Dean, right? Just want to make sure.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, I wasn't.
No highways yet.
Yeah, I'm not a big. I know some history, but not that much. I just want to make sure. Hey, guys, thank you very much. Congratulations on the sponsorship. Some idiots. And next weekend, apparently BYU is selling all their tickets because they're all hyped up on this overrated football team going to Texas Tech to lose, and they gave back like 1,000 seats at TD.
Did they really?
Yeah,
Can't believe
it's
it.
gonna be like Illinois again. Less farmers, more Mormons, but same kind of bunch of white people that thought they're gonna have a good time and then really didn't in Boston.
I'm very excited to watch Hot Balls interact with the BYU fans.
I got a lot of
I don't
feelings
think
and a lot
that's
of
gonna
feelings.
go well. I don't think it's gonna go. I feel like they're not gonna appreciate your sense of humor or
Well,
anyone from the Northeast. It's like that,
they're going to learn
But
a
hey,
lot about Northeast culture.
well,
That's
unfortunately,
I had a
they
distinction in philosophy and religion when I was coming out of college. And
did they talk a lot about like Brigham Young in the philosophy classes at
no, I
Connecticut?
didn't, actually.
Yeah,
It's funny.
I feel like that would like downgrade your philosophy degree if they like
Yeah.
spent a lot of time on.
It falls more into the cult thing, but yes.
Yeah, no, Joseph Smith, sick. I played Oregon Trail too, bro. Cool, cool.
It was a good video game for them. Probably
Thanks,
won't
guys.
be as
Thank you
good
very
as
much,
a video
guys.
game for them.
Enjoy. Love you guys too.
Thanks, Happy Rat. Oh, now it feels like we're back, Hot Balls.
Yeah, it feels more genuine. Like it feels like we're in a spot where we should really be. We have one more
Sure.
in the queue before we finish things up. But guess what? I got one more PSA. I want to talk about a Connecticut-based business, folks. Nothing comes close to Martin Rollsoul since 1928. Martin Rollsoul has been feeding cranky Huskies fans all over Connecticut and beyond. Hot dogs, sausages, kielbasa's, and deli meats. They have everything we need to keep jerks like Hurley Mania fed, quiet, if they didn't threaten to pull their sponsorship over. Even a place just frankly leave him. But I promise we wouldn't do that to them. I guess Martin Rollsoul is at 45 Grove Street in New Britain, the official sponsor of the Connecticut Basketball Spaces Wiener Winery. What I really can't wait for, honestly, is I want to get a big sausage phone when we go on video. Like a gigantic phone that like a big piece of meat that we just kind of like masquerade around being a sausage. That'd be a thing. All right. Before we do that, Blue Blood Huskies. What do you got for us, man? First time? Long time?
Long time listener, first time speaker. Love your work.
Thank you.
Just looking ahead. Last night, Florida played that 7-9 center. What the hell might we do if they put him in against us? Just want to hear your thoughts on that. Just thinking about that today.
Athletic, big that can get around. I don't want to call him the novelty more than that. That's not the right thing to say. He is so raw now. Like he's just not going to be a guy that I am much more worried. Much more worried.
Yeah, that team's got
the gang up front. I'm going to be interested to see how Florida's backcourt gels. Right, like Boogie Fland, I think, is a range toolsier, more interesting long-term piece than, say, Clayton was, but he does not have the just ferocious dog in him that Clayton did. So I'm going to be very interested to see how that all transpires. I do like the Princeton guard. I think people have been down on him. That's going to be the developmental piece for Florida. I think every team has a lot of questions this year, right? Can Purdue's tiny guards figure out how to compete against more athletic, longer guys, right? Can Houston figure out how to score points in a basketball game? I think for Florida, it's going to be more can they develop a backcourt as well as they did before with UConn? It's can they play defense? I just think everybody's got major question marks. Can St. John's put 11 totally self-interested human beings together on a basketball team, coexist, find success, right? So I think there's a lot of pieces that go into that. But I'm going to be very interested in them. The 7'9" guy, I am not as worried about at this point in time with Florida. I think Florida is going to be, of the teams that were playing in the non-con, I'm going to take some shit here. I think they're the worst matchup team for us in the non-con. So to really tell us how well we can manage our deficiencies the best, I am worried that Arizona might be better. Yeah, they might be better. So those are the two games I've really got my eye. If you were to ask me today, what are the two things that you're looking at non-con? I'm very interested in Arizona.
Okay.
I'm fascinated by Florida.
I am interested in Kansas and Darren Peters, but I saw they lost today, so
yeah,
he's footballed out.
Hurley and I were talking about this earlier. I like Kansas better this year. I like the makeup of their roster. They're going to drop some games on non-con, but I like their upside more than I like the upside of the fucking Transfer Mania team that they put together for the last 2 years. I feel like they have the pieces that are kind of more of that Bill Self kind of team, right? Got some young, but I think very athletic backcourt that can get to multi-level scorers with wings that really defend their dicks off, and then centers could give you anything at any time. That to me has always been
I like
kind
them.
of the self team. So I like the structure of that team better. Is that team going to be a washout like the last 2 years? I don't know, but I'd much rather play Kansas on December 2nd or 3rd than I'd rather play Kansas in March 24th or whatever it's going to be. If that makes any sense.
Well, Bryson Tiller for Kansas fouled out in 15 minutes tonight.
Yep.
Didn't really get to play much in the second half, and they just could not get a rebound. And they were pretty undersized the entire, because UNC is pretty big now. They start 7 foot, 6'10", 6'10".
They finally decided to get big players again.
Yeah.
Way to go, Hubert. Nice job. Way to pay attention. Yeah, my one, I like Kansas most of the last 3 years of their teams. I like the way the squad's put together, but it's just, and Peterson is sensational, but it's just, his usage rate is going to be so crazy high. It's just a lot to ask of him.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah,
and he's going to go nuclear in a few games. We might be at one of them, but they really don't have a second option.
Yeah, he's going to have to drive a lot of offense, especially if Trey White is not going to be good.
Yeah, that's the other concern they have right now. So,
all right.
Thank you, Go. Yeah, I'm excited to see Oliver Rue. I just don't know. I don't think he's going to play a ton, and I mean they don't need to. They don't really need him to play a lot either. So they have lots of front court options. That will not be an issue for Florida.
Yeah, we'll see how it all shakes out. Blue Blood, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, gonna move on to Sammy Fetterman, and then I think we're gonna call it a night after that. So we got.
Yeah, I came on here after I finished my pod, and I had no idea what you guys were going to be talking about. And I come on here, and it's complaining about how this team doesn't have a leader. I'm like, did I see the same score that you guys did?
Well, see, what you don't know, Sam, is that the head coach was complaining about it. That's why we're discussing it.
Yeah, again, I didn't see the presser today. I'll go back and check and read through all that stuff later. I was at Colgate Northeastern today, so I was driving back during the first half, and I got a text, and you used the voice to read the text. It's like, the text was UConn struggling. Yeah, it was a real struggle out there tonight for UConn. They did not, it was
43-2. Yeah.
44. I can't believe that. Like, that was a prime, 2018 reverse UConn football score.
Yeah, I mean, they had poor John Fanta tweeting, "My God," at halftime.
Like, he's calling the game, and he grabs his phone. He's like, "I got to tweet. I got to tweet. They're going to be on me. I got to tweet."
Gotta fire this one off 1 second.
He does do a lot of halftime tweeting when he's calling games, though, and I like that. I like that. But I cannot wait for next week in Boston. I'll be there. So
Yeah,
that's just everything leading up to this so far. I watched a little bit of Columbia today. I know UConn has them next. I mean, Columbia whipped New Haven. I don't know. I'm getting New Haven, I think, next month. Columbia, I think, later this month. But overall, just for UConn to go out there and kind of, I don't want to say respond after Monday because you won by a lot, but to go out there and just do this, this is a game that people will remember because of the score.
Yeah, it's one of the games that we don't remember at the end of the year unless something like tonight happens, and maybe we remember it as kind of the early signs. But yeah, you saw all the good tonight, and they got one more chance before it gets really turned up with Kevin Hovde's Columbia Lions on Monday, and then Boston, and then it's straight line from there. I mean, it's crazy. It lightens up when they get into the league, if anything, because the non-conference is so brutal. I'm excited. We're almost there, and
and hey, good night for the league with Georgetown going to Maryland and winning. Not sure if you guys.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on that. That's a huge win for them and for the league.
And then very fascinated for Sunday, Indiana Marquette.
Yeah, that one's going to be a real interesting watch. I hope Tom Crean is calling it. It's
on FS1, I think, so I don't think you'll get Crean.
That's one of the ones I'm really making a mark on for how the league is. That one, Providence tomorrow at Mohegan Sun against Virginia Tech. Those are kind of the most important games. The UConn ones are high profile. Sunday, St. John's, Alabama should be nuts.
Yeah, and Providence, I think, also has Colorado later in the month.
Yeah, they go out to Colorado, which is weird.
And Colorado is bad. They almost lost to Montana State, I think it was. So they're not good. So
lots of people lose to Colorado. It's fine. Those are the games really in terms of the Providence one and the Marquette one. Those are the ones that
I also think from a Virginia Tech perspective, we don't know what they are right now. Very interested to kind of see that matchup play out. The other matchup at Mohegan is also going to be a really good game. GW and South Florida, two mid-major teams to keep an eye on for this year.
Yeah, no, I'm actually very high on this George Washington team. They blew out a Maine team that's improving on Monday, and I think
Maine's down this year.
Yeah, well, the program's improving.
Yes,
down a
I would agree.
That is a big game. But George Washington is my sleeper pick in the A10. I like what they're building there in terms of what they brought back this year. But yeah, for the league, Providence, Virginia Tech, and Marquette, Indiana, those are huge games. That's what tells you where the middle is. Like,
Yeah.
I expect St.
And,
John's,
and hey,
Alabama, and UConn, BYU to be high-end games. I know all the teams in those games are high-end. This is
and
where you tell me how deep your league is.
I'm sure you guys discussed IU Indy.
Oh, yes.
They're
At length.
playing Butler tomorrow.
It's the system. We did like 20 minutes on it with Kyle the Butler fan.
Good, love that. But yeah, Butler is like another team that I am like interested in. Like, can they be part of that middle pack this year? Ajayi looked really good in their first game, and that's kind of a big ceiling piece for them. So I'm a little optimistic about Butler this year, kind of being in the middle of the pack versus the back of the pack. Not a good night for Seton Hall or for DePaul though tonight.
Right.
Not
Yeah.
good.
You end
I
up
will
being
say DePaul kind of got like they were blowing him out, and then Herman Kofi just started to make like a ridiculous amount of threes.
Yeah, it's easy to be positive on Butler when you feel the way we do about Xavier, Seton Hall, and DePaul right
Oh
now.
yeah, I do. I am very down on Xavier. I was down on Xavier for a while, and I gotta say, like, Villanova's performance against BYU, like, I didn't expect them to kind of be as game as they were, but maybe I should have, because Kevin Willard teams are always tough in that sense, even if their ceiling isn't particularly high.
Yeah, I was really impressed with them Monday I was watching that game while we were doing our space. They look like a Kevin Willard team. They're tough defensively. They're not flashy. The floor is really high. I don't know what the ceiling is, but they're a competent unit, and they're going to be competitive in games like that. And the biggest issue they had under Kyle Neptune was they just were stepping on rakes left and right.
Yeah.
And we'll see. Maybe it'll happen, but I'm very confident they're not going to go out and finish last in the Big Five.
And the key for what I saw with that game was BYU is like that pro style run and gun offense where they want to shoot a lot of threes. They did not. I think they took 17 against Villanova. Mentioned this on my pod. Like, Willard has always had teams that rank really well in preventing 3-point attempts, and I think that kind of goes really well with some of these pro style offenses that you're starting to see more creep in throughout college basketball. And it was something that I probably didn't look into enough before that game. But it's just something that, like, hey, I think Villanova does this thing. Will probably do this thing pretty well because Willard has always done it pretty well, and it looked good against BYU, a team that's definitely a lot more athletic than they are.
I agree, Sam. Thank you for jumping on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I got to get to bed because I've got Binghamton Niagara tomorrow.
I mean, you don't have to cover that.
I don't, but I kind of told Binghamton I'd be there. I told Niagara I'd be there, so.
Oh, man of honor. I respect it.
Yeah, Binghamton was awful on Monday night against Syracuse. Like, absolutely, like, ridiculous levels of awful.
Yeah, that program's been in the mud ever since the NCAA tournament appearance. I'll believe they're alive when I see it. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate it.
Yeah, bye.
Hot balls. Before we go, I'll do it since you won't. Pack the rent tomorrow, people. I'm excited. I'm going. It's a great opportunity for UConn football against a really good Duke team. It looks like this ticket number looks really good. I know it's papered. I don't care. I mean, they've not shied away from pulling out all the stops. They got Dan Hurley cutting promos for them. The team's bowl eligible again. I'm excited to go check out UConn football in person for the first time this year. I hope everybody that can gets to go out. Should dry out by the morning, so expecting a big crowd. That could be a fun day. There's no UConn men's or women's basketball. The men's hockey team is in Providence, so nothing opposed. No soccer game opposed it. So hoping everybody that wants to last minute, you can still get $25 tickets on the UConn site. They tweeted out 1 million promo codes. So hope to see a lot of people out there tomorrow. That should be a lot of fun.
Even if it rains. Show up anyways.
Oh, there it is.
Don't be a wuss.
Yeah, I'll still be there.
It's just me. You fucking pussies. Show up. do your thing. And I think really, to close out tonight's show, I got some public consort. It's not maybe it is, but maybe it's not. It's not. I'm going to do a little balls. ASMR. And whenever
Oh no, we're not doing this. Oh Jesus.
To a very zen place. I want you to think about it. It's like to flip through the cloud effortlessly. Take all the things that are stressing you out in your job. That sweetie report. Maybe you're a lawyer. How about your client? At least for tonight. You're a nurse. You got some family support. Machines exist for a reason. How everybody just sit back. How everybody listen. How everybody think. How everybody feel what it's like to be weightless. I want you to think about 77 to 74. Euphoria. Yes, it happened in a dumpy little dome. Nobody else knows that. Maybe you were in a wayward place in your life. I don't know. Those happen. 2004 was an interesting year too. So many things happened. You don't need to be concerned about. But I want everybody to do. Because I know this is what you're doing, folks. It's 1:23 in the morning. And you're thinking, what's wrong with me? It's about what's wrong with you. About feeling weightlessness. The stress-free nature of your life. 1999. Imagine what would happen in 1999. It was a football game. A football game without a roof. Like the basketball game. The rain is gently dropping on your face. Yeah. Yes, that rain. You can hear it outside your window. No. It's relaxing you. You're falling deeper and deeper into a sleep. A slumber. A wonderful victorious slumber. You're going to wake up tomorrow. And you are going to feel like a champion. A winner. A sense of inevitability. The water flowing through the Grand Canyon. Yeah. You are one with nature now.
This is the part
That's
where
it.
I mentioned that to everybody,
That's the rain. That's
you
the sun.
sound completely garbled and have for the last 5 minutes.
You have a little garden outside. Plant little baby carrots. That you just... Right. Yeah. Wherever you're at, wherever you're going to be, just know that basketball space will be there with you. Bring a new level. Mental tranquility. Clarity of thought. Ability to look inside of yourself in a way and manner that you never thought imaginable. A way that you could simply keep in touch with yourself. Good night, everybody.